Hey there. So this last section is really just making sure that you know how to read some of the basic equipment and making sure that you're using precision appropriately given that equipment. So it kind of ties into sig figs and what we were talking about earlier in the unit. So if we're looking at, say, a ruler and I want to measure a line. So let's say I'm going to just measure a line to right there. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. And the thing about uncertain digits, which I'm sure you've heard already, is you want to make sure that you have one estimated digit. So in this case, if I were measuring this, I know I'm looking at the lines here, and there are 10 lines in each of these centimeters. So I know for sure I've got at least 1 centimeter. And then I'm counting over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.6. So I know those two numbers for sure, but I want one uncertain digit. So I'm going to say with that line, it's going to be 1.65 centimeters. So I would have one digit to the right past what these markings are. So let me kind of reiterate that one more time. Each one of these marks are one tenth of a centimeter or 1 millimeter. So if this right here, the 6 is actually the part that we know for sure because that's where the lines are on the ruler, I need to go one digit to the right of that for my estimated digit. So let's look at graduated cylinders. So I kind of enhanced this one a little bit so you could kind of see what I was looking at. And let's say the liquid is right through here. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is what do each of these marks represent? So if I'm looking at this, the bigger marks here, the longer ones, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, those are in tens. So that also means that the smaller ones in between are 2 5s. Right here, when you're measuring graduated cylinders, first of all, you want to measure from the very bottom of this curve, and it's called the meniscus, and you want to make sure that you're measuring from the bottom of it. So in this case, I obviously know for sure that I have at least 150 milliliters. And if I look, I'm going to say 55, and I'm going to have to guesstimate here in between the 155 and the 160. So since I'm already estimating here in the ones place, right, if you look, I'm having to estimate there, that's as far as these this precision would go. So I'm going to call that 157. And again, since I guessed at the 7, I can't possibly know what might be after that. Let's look at a different graduated cylinder. In fact, let's look at the one that you're going to have in your lab drawers. So again, I tried to make this a little bit bigger so you could see it. And again, we measure from the bottom of the meniscus, but this graduated cylinder, the one like you're going to have in your lab drawer, the markings are every 1 milliliter. Now I know this is a little fuzzy because I had to kind of really blow this up so you could see it. But I know that it's 70 for sure, and then I'm going to look at these lines and I'm going to say I know 73 for sure, and I'm going to say 73.0. So that 0.0, that is my one estimated digit. So again, if each of these markings are in the ones or the whole number column, then I want to make sure I go one decimal point to the right and call that my estimated digit. The only other thing in this unit that I included here that I felt was important was really looking at academic language and how it affects how you answer questions. And one of the examples I like to point out is oftentimes I'll put something in there like compare, I'll make this one easy, compare cats and dogs. And oftentimes I'll get an answer that'll say something along the lines of, well, you know, cats are funny, they're really fluffy, and they have pointy little ears. But there was no mention of a dog. So that alone automatically negates your answer because you didn't really answer what the question was looking for. And the type of academic language that you're going to see in chemistry and in a lot of your other classes as well are things like analyze, classify, define, differentiate. And I want to just make sure that you understand what these mean. So with that in mind, what I would like for you to do is to study a Quizlet of this academic language. There's a link on Schoology for you. And I don't care if you use the matching game or I believe it's called Gravity. I don't mind whichever one you use. But when you feel like you've got a hang of this information, please just go ahead and screenshot your score from one of those and submit it. And as always, if you need anything, if you have any questions, please feel free to come see me. All right, have a great day.